Sai Ram. Hearty welcome to Sri Sathya Seva Gurukulam. Free online classes in science. I hope all of you sit without any making sound. Correct? Because the chapter is about sound. So let this sound be audible to you so as to stop all other sounds externally. Correct? So what is sound? Sound is a form of energy. Can you name some of the other forms of energy? Come on. Yeah. Light energy, then heat energy, electrical energy, atomic energy, sound energy, correct? Magnetic energy, wind energy, and so on. So out of which sound energy is also one of the important forms of energy. So this energy is something which is very essential for our daily life. How do you get sound? We get sound by vibrating body. Any body that is vibrating will give sound. Can you name some of the sound around you? Correct? Yeah. Swaying of the trees. When the wind blows, when the sway, when the trees, means branches, the leaves sway, that gives sound. And rainy season, one famous sound you hear. What is that? Yes, clouds. Correct. When the clouds move from one place to another, when the oppositely charged clouds come near, they produce what are called as thunder. Do you fear for thunder? Yes, correct. Some of you will fear, not all. And some of you are adjusted to it. Is it not? And now Deepavali season is coming up. So what is that Deepavali famous for? Crackers. And during crackers bursting, huge sound is heard, correct? You have atom bombs, small crackers, there are varieties. Of course, you need not spend much money on that. Okay, anyway, the whole universe is filled with sound. And there are some sound we cannot hear at all. You might have seen ants moving out. They also make sound, but you are not able to hear because our capacity of the ear is limited. We see them moving here and there. They are talking to each other. Is it not? They carry some jaggery or sugar in their mouth from one place to another. All of you rush to a certain place, you will get very good sweets there. So that the message they pass, we can't hear. Correct? And also you might have seen bats, B-A-T-S, is animal, not the playing bat, okay? They also make sound, we cannot hear. That is called ultrasounds. And the ants and all, that is infrasounds, we can't hear. Because our ear have a limited capacity. Anyway, sound is produced and all sounds we cannot hear. And how do you get, how the sound is coming up in our human body? That is in the part called throat. In the throat there are what is called as vocal cords. When the vocal cords vibrate, how do vocal cords vibrate? Because of the air, the inhaling air. The air, that movement of the air will make the vocal cords move, vibrate. And that vibration, even now I am talking to you, you are hearing me, but I am not able to hear you because you are in different places, correct? Anyway, you will be making some sound there. See what a wonderful instrument our body is. Correct? So, and for propagation of sound, medium is necessary. Other day we have seen an experiment of a mobile phone kept in a glass bottle. When that bottle which was opened, you could hear the sound of the mobile ringtone, what you call. You got ringtone? Keep some good ringtones. Some of the mobiles have very harsh or dirty ringtones. So try to have musical, soothing ringtones. Correct? So when the air is sucked from that bottle or a tumbler, as you suck the air, the ringtone go on decreasing. If you suck completely, then that is what is called as making vacuum. You cannot hear the ringtone of the mobile. Correct? What does it show? This shows that medium is necessary for propagation of sound. When you say medium, what type of mediums you see? There will be three kinds of mediums, correct? One is called solid medium, usually metals. Through metals it passes. And another one is liquid medium, water, or any other liquid. And last one is gaseous medium. So there are the three states of matter, or you can say medium, by which sound propagates from one place to another. So these are the things we have seen. Now let us see the home assignments. How many have you done it? Good. Come on. First question. Choose the correct answers from the four answers given. Sound can, there is no four answer given. So, yeah, sound can travel through gases only, solids only, liquids only, solids, liquids and gases. Which is the correct answer? Just now we discussed about that. That is what is called as medium. So, our correct answer is solids, liquids and gases. D subdivision, correct? So that is called multiple choice questions. Next question, sound do not travel in vacuum. Why? What do you mean by vacuum? Vacuum means when there is no atmosphere, when there is no air, that state is called as vacuum. So medium is necessary for the propagation of sound. As there is no air in vacuum, sound do not travel in vacuum. So vacuum means what? You have to remove out the air from that. Can you name the device in which the air is removed? Yes, exhaust pump, correct. So exhaust pump is a device which removes the air given in a particular container. So if the air is removed, there will be no medium. If there is no medium, sound will not move from one place to another. Now one more question. Dolphins can communicate underwater. How it is possible? So have you seen about dolphin? See here. It is one of the most famous fishes, most favorite fishes to human beings. It plays with human beings. It jumps. It takes see here it is catching a ball. And see here it is having a ball in hand and ball in the mouth. Similarly, it can eat eatables, whatever eatables the human beings put. It communicates with people so nicely. One of the favorites. Just as you have favorite dogs? How many have fishes in your home? You keep in a glass container called as aquarium. You got fishes? Yes, some of course may have, but all cannot afford to eat because it is you should be very careful in maintaining it. Okay, so here sound travels in the watery medium, so dolphins can communicate underwater. They will talk to each other. Correct? If you are not seen, you can go and see in aquariums. Government based aquariums are there. There you can see how the dolphins move, how they talk to the persons. Next questions. What are the musical instruments? You heard about instruments? In hospital they use surgical instruments to do operations. Correct? And farmers use some other instruments for their farming. Correct? So teachers also use different kinds of instruments like chalk piece, duster, sometimes scales, like that. So these are all instruments. Here we are referring about musical instruments. What are musical instruments? The instruments which produce sequence of sound which seem pleasant to the ears. Not all type of instruments. You should enjoy hearing it. Such instruments are called musical instruments. Can you name some of them? Yes. Veena, then violin, sitar, flute, tabla, mridangam, morch, ghatam, and so on. They are all called musical instruments. Understood? Now we will see today's topic. So now we are coming to a very interesting part called listening to sound. Even though so much of sound everywhere, we cannot listen all the sound. Some of the sounds we hear, some of them we cannot. Even though we can see, we can't hear it. So what is that makes us to hear the sound? We have got a very important part called ear. E-A-R. The spelling is different. There is one more word called ear. Y-E-A-R. What is Y-E-A-R? Ear. What is this year? 2022. Correct? So that is called ear. Now we are referring to a human organ called as ear. This is called outer ear. There are two important parts. One is called outer ear, another is called inner ear. In outer ear, the shape of the outer ear is like that of a funnel. See how nicely God has designed every part. So be grateful to God. That is what is called as prayers. See the eyes, how they are kept in a particular box. Correct? And how the throat is kept, how the nose is kept, ears are kept. All part of the body are kept in different positions. Safely. Correct? And you have no control on all this creation. And it is all God's mystery. Correct? So this shape is called funnel shape. And there is no door to close it. Only you have to keep closed with a hand or some muffler or some cotton, etc., etc. And coming to the inner parts, there is what is important part called as eardrum. This part is called eardrum. It is a small thin membrane. So what happens? When the sound enters, it travels down a canal at the end of which there is a thin stretched membrane called eardrum. So this is a canal. Are you seeing it? This portion is called canal portion. So whenever a sound is heard, the sound will go through in this canal and it beats the drum. It's called eardrum. What is it made up of? It's a thin membrane. So what happens when whatever sound comes there, it hits that membrane, and this sound, thin stretched membrane, that is called eardrum, this sound is transferred from the eardrum. So this eardrum is like a stretched rubber sheet. Sound vibrations make the eardrum vibrate. So it vibrates. Is it not? So when the vibration comes, this vibration is transferred. This send vibration to inner ear. This is the inner ear. There are different parts in it. This portion is called cochlea, and there are small bones. Smallest bone is called stapes, S-T-A-P-E-S. All those we will study later, okay, in class 10th. So, and there will be a kind of liquid also that makes the movement so smoothly. And these vibrations that fall onto this eardrum is sent to the inner ear here. From the inner ear, the signal goes to brain. Here it goes to brain. Okay, so that is what you can see. So what a wonderful mechanism. We have no control at all. Correct? But everything goes automatically. What does the brain do? The brain, hears the sound and it will give to action to a particular body. For example, if the sound is very heavy, we keep your hand on the ears, we close the ears. And if the sound is musical, we enjoy it. If the sound is very, very small, we will take our ear to that particular vibrating body and hear it. Correct? So the brain will send message what to do. And but one important instruction is there: we should never put a sharp, pointed or hard thing into our ear, like your nails or your compass or your divider, etc. You should not put into the ear. Why? It will straight away, it can damage the ear drum. So if you introduce anything inside directly and sharply, then what happens? Your eardrum gets damaged and you are not able to hear. Then you must have what is called as a device for hearing. You have seen some old people having that hearing devices. It's very costly they are. 30,000, 40,000, 90,000, lakhs even. You put inside the ear and that will act as the eardrum. But natural things are natural only. It is always good. So don't damage your eardrums. Now how to clean that? You can use what is called as earbuds. You have seen it? There will be small cotton in the end of the small stick there on either sides. You can clean that ear once in 15 days or so, wherein all unwanted liquids can be removed out. Now shall we see one activity, how this eardrum acts? So we will go to a small activity. See, here is your friend who is doing the activity. Can you see it? So what is having in hand? A plastic or tin can. This is a plastic can. It is taken and its two ends are cut. See here, both the ends of the plastic can, top and bottom, are cut. What for? One of the ends, a piece of rubber balloon is stretched across one end of the can and fastened it with a rubber band. So here what he have done is, so this is balloon. Balloon. And this balloon is tied with a rubber band here. Okay. And you may ask why you want it. This is like a eardrum, it acts. And what you have to do? For that you have to keep some 5 grains of dry cereal. So here you can see the cereals. Dry cereals, not wet cereals, are put on the top of the balloon. So, and you speak from here. So here he is shouting. What is shouting? Hooray, hooray. What is the meaning of the word hooray? Hooray means victory to you. Victory to you. So that is what the word hooray stands for. So he is shouting here. So when he is shouting, all these cereals, they jump. So also in our eardrum, whatever sound comes and falls on it, it vibrates. And these vibrations are sent inside to the brain. So we observe that the grain jump up and down, up and down. So they go up and down depending on the sound. Correct? Of course, hooray is not only a sound, you can do any other sound also. There is no issue. So as per the sound, it jumps. Similarly, we have in the eardrum, the sound vibrations make the eardrum vibrate. And these vibrations are sent to the brain. Correct? So that is what we can see in our body. Now here is a very interesting and important device. What is called as simple pendulum. Just now we have seen what is meant by vibration. And let us see some more words of the same type. So here also this thread, here is a thread here tied to a metallic bob. B-O-B, bob. It may be metallic or you can take stone also. Nice stone, you can tie it up. And this is fixed here on the wall. Or you can take the iron stand also. So a strong thread is taken with one end of which is a metallic bob or a stone tied to it. Put a nail on the wall. Here you are putting a nail. And hang the stone by using the other end of the thread and pull it on one side of the and let go of it. So here this device is called simple pendulum. So pull it to one side. Say A. What happens? When you pull the metallic bob to one side, it will go back to B on the other side. So you can see what is called as oscillatory motion. Understanding? Here the steady position is called O. That is the middle position where it comes steady or where it starts actually. But once you pull it, it goes to either sides of it. Correct? So here you see some of the interesting things. We find the stone moves from point A, it comes to B, passing through the midpoint or rest position called as O. Okay, the stone attached to the thread moves both ends equally. So if you pull to the left side, it goes to the right also to the same extent. Correct? So this device is known as pendulum, simple pendulum. And the motion of the pendulum is called pendulum motion or also called as oscillation. Oscillation means what? From A to O, then to B, and coming back, B to O and O to A. That is called oscillation. Okay, from A to B is called vibration. A to B and B back to A is called as oscillation. Okay, and this movement is called pendulum motion. Have you heard a very famous scientist by called Galileo? He was the man who found out this pendulum, and his discovery was very interesting. We were doing prayer in a church. When all are praying in the church, hallelujah, hallelujah, this Galileo was looking at the lamp, and there was a lamp tied with a chain, and a light was burning, and he saw the lamp was moving from one side to another. He was very interested and curious. Let me try this experiment in my home, in lab. That's what some of the curious students will do. Correct? That is called scientific attitude. So he prepared one pendulum like this, and then he experimented and he got so many results out of it. And where do you see such pendulum in your home? There are some old clocks, wall clock what you call. They will have pendulums. You have seen it? Old clocks. Nowadays everything has become digitalized. But in the olden days they used to have this type of pendulum. So this is what is called as oscillation, and one more thing you have to see, that oscillation time, the time taken by the stone or the bob to complete A to B and B to A is called oscillation time. How do you find it? You can find it by the help of stopwatch. Okay, and this motion is called oscillatory motion. Are you following? So, can you find such type of motion? Yes, in the wall clock you can find oscillatory motion, and there will be some seesaw type where there is oscillatory motion. Correct? So, in nature also you can find some of them. Number of oscillations per second is called frequency of oscillation. Very important. Please note the word frequency, F. F is nothing but number of oscillations per second. Okay. Now we will take one example. And how do you measure it? It is measured by a unit called Hertz. Why it is called by that name? Because it was Hertz who found out that formula. So, one frequency of 1 Hertz is 1 oscillation per second. For example, if an object oscillates 20 times in 1 second, its frequency is 20 Hertz. Okay, 20 Hertz, HZ, H capital, Z small. So, this is a very interesting thing and very important also. We will see some more details in the next class. So, before that we will see home assignments. Number 1, fill in the blanks in the following sentences. Sound is a form of dash. Sound helps us to know dash in the environment. Vibrating items produce dash. Frequency is measured in dash. Can you fill it up? You also don't say dash and keep it blank. You should fill it up. Okay. What is the function of eardrum? Define frequency. How is it measured? What is a oscillatory? What is meant by oscillatory motion? What is the oscillatory motion. Okay. Now let us see what Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai says. Okay. Who is this? Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, who lives in Muddinalli. Okay. He says, service finds its foundation in spirituality, and spirituality finds its fulfillment in service. So, love, service, spirituality, they are interrelated. In another time he said, service without spirituality is dumb. Spirituality without service is lame. Means service and spirituality are interrelated. That is what Vivekananda said, Atmano mokshartam jagat hitaya.